Hi everyone, my name is Farzad and I'm here to talk about one of my personal methods for interior photography. It's about controlling lights in which I'm able to minimize the glare around artificial light source. Let's talk it through. The example I prepared is a barber shop. You can see the camera is placed at the lounge area facing towards the main salon. In this shot, there are two groups of lights which has negative effects on interior. The first group on the lounge and the second on the main salon. Let's compare the final shot with the original. Comparing these two side by side, at first glance you can see how much differences are between these two. On the right side, the glare is completely gone. For the second batch of light on the main salon, the stars are gone and the shape are recovered. Even the texture inside this part of light, which we normally do not see, is intact. Well, you might be curious how I get from here to here. As you know, this is a time consuming process to fix the unpleasant glare around the artificial light source in post production. Even with expensive lenses, I left with unpleasant haze around track lights, path lights, or any kind of harsh light source. So, to prevent this, what I came up with is basically changing the duration of lights affects the sensor without changing the shutter speed or any controls in my camera. To avoid the confusion, this is different from changing the intensity, which is dimming the light. In this technique, the shutter can be open for let's say 5 seconds, and during this 5 seconds, the intended light turns on and off just in a split of a second. So this creates a clear shine on the light source. Let's see more example. The camera is set for 2 seconds. Check out the island light. The timer is on. I'm reaching for the light switch while keeping my ears sharp for shutter sound. And this is it. Okay, turn the lights back on. Let's see how the image is turned out. Oh, the client is also curious. Alright guys, this is my original picture from last video. During those 2 seconds of exposure, I turned the lights off rapidly as soon as I heard the shutter click. Here is the results. You can see between original picture and after applying selective exposure. Because my reaction is not the same and the timing would be different each time I try, I would end up with different results. So, first, excuse my odd face here. I was concentrating on so many things at the same time. Well, here is the beautiful result of recovering that light, comparing with my previous try and original picture. There is a huge difference in my belief, and I could apply this with all other lights inside the interior. Just to show you guys the variety that this technique helped me. At the left, you can see the original picture. It is just a minor correction on lens aberration. And at the right side, you can see my final picture. This time the track light was directly towards the camera and lens. So you can see how could I improve my final picture with selectively turning them on and off. And here at the center we have a couple of linear lights which are purposely designed by the architects. So I could recover so much from this light. Maybe I did it a little more than usual. So some would say it looks like a white line. It is not a light. Yes, I believe that. I accept that. If you do this kind of technique intensively, you will put the pictures in danger of looking a bit renderish or looking dull because of the absence of enough amount of glow. So keep that in mind. A little bit of glow is necessary for the pictures to work. I'm not sure how this idea came to me, but I started to developing this around 2 years ago. In some case, it works perfectly. In other, it may not work at all. In order for this to work, we need two separated group of lights. The first group is an ambient to shape the space. The other is the intended light, which we turn on and off. For another example, at this cafe shot, we can see the amount of haze around the walls at the two sides and in the middle for the hanging chandelier. On the right side, in my final picture, which I had to admit, this is a very strange chandelier, the scalp shape with the base of bullets. It is perfectly recovered, and moving to walls, you can see how beautiful rather than my original picture. Even the reflection on the wall is fully recovered, which I confess it is not truly selective exposure, it's with the help of post-production. And let's move to the other side of wall. My plants, the overlapping plants with lights are gone, which are recovered here. And we have a very nice glow around each wall. And these tiny lights on the top of the walls are fully recovered, nicely formed. Everything looks great. I need to mention this. It is not a solution to create HDR images, or even it would not deliver you the final picture. You still need to mask this on top of your main brackets. As a side effect, it will create a renderish look on your picture, or even if you do this intensively, it will kill the mood and depth in your interior. So, let's jump into post-production. In post, I already added two other brackets. Cutting the light duration in half makes them normally darker, so we can see the other brackets are darker than my original. As the first step, I leveled the brightness across all three, so I could delete this. Since we are familiar with masking technique, I use my first option and reveal this area on top of the original picture very carefully, nothing sudden, very minor. Oops. If I want to push this further, I can use the second option, which is more intense regarding recovering the highlights. Let's look at it in another angle. All right. Let's dial back. Yeah, to create a bit more shine. If I destroy this shine, the picture looks fake. Okay, with a low Opacity of brush. Alright. I think we are in the sweet spot. Yeah, that's it. I look forward to hear your comments and idea about this video. I know with a couple of practices, you would be able to master this technique. Thank you for watching this. Have a good one.